We all put good stuff into and onto our Harley Davidson motorcycles, the right oil, regular services to keep your bike going. But do you put the right stuff into you to keep you going, to keep you performing? Well, a lot of people don't know what to do, so let's talk about what we can do to keep our Harleys going, to keep our bodies going, to stay alive when we ride, so that we've all got a long future riding. Hi, my name's Eamon. Welcome to the channel. Let's talk Harleys and healthy bodies. And if you like today's video, help the channel out, like and subscribe, even comment. And don't forget to check out the website for great supporter gear. Get yourself a sticker or a patch. Now let's jump onto the street glide and we're gonna go and meet Steve. Steve's incredibly brave. He's putting himself out there, out here on YouTube, in the hope that his circumstances are gonna help other people who are in a similar situation. I'm with Steve.
How you going?
Steve is going to get some help in terms of getting healthy again. What's happened, Steve?
Well, I just really want that free upgrade, that performance upgrade on the bike. That's what I really want.
He's a smart ass.
But
Steve's a fellow street glide rider who watches the channel. Steve, if you tell us a little bit about why you even want to get healthier.
Well, all right, I'll give you a quick rundown. I'm getting older. The body's not coping carrying all that extra weight. I'm sitting at roughly just over 200 kilos at the moment. And
how tall are you?
6'4", yep. So 193, 194 centimeters.
To put that in perspective, I'm 6'4" and 110 kilos. We want to get healthy because we want to extend our lives, because we want to ride for longer.
What I've discovered in the last couple of years as I've been getting heavier, my body is starting to fail. The osteoarthritis has really started to plague me a little bit in my right hip. It's affecting how I walk, it's affecting how I sleep, so I'm not getting good sleep. But I need to trim down that weight so as I can walk.
How do you think you got so heavy?
Working night shifts, you're looking for anything to keep you awake on those really long night shifts, and the easy option, of course, is food. It gives you that.
So you're implying that you're a boredom eater?
Boredom eater, absolutely.
So what do we do to actually keep our Harleys healthy? Oil?
Oil.
What sort of oil do you use?
I use synthetic oil.
Okay, well here's an interesting thing. The last time I serviced my bike, I got lazy, took it to the dealer, and they put mineral oil in because I forgot to say what my favourite was. And it turns out that the bike runs a lot quieter. They said, no, we use mineral oil. I sort of suspected it might be because it's cheaper. True enough, my bike runs a lot quieter. It takes longer to warm up, but it runs quieter. You use synthetic oil because?
It runs cooler.
Now, put in the comments which oil you use and why. What else are you going to do to keep your Harley healthy? You're going to change that oil regularly?
Yep. Servicing regularly.
Do you change the oil between services?
Yes, I do. I do it. I change it.
What about petrol?
I use premium unleaded in mine as well.
Okay.
So
I use 95 in mine.
Yep.
Why do you use premium?
I'm running 120R in my street glide.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, 120R. Fantastic. What else do you do to keep your Harley healthy?
Well, there's obviously all the maintenance.
Regular maintenance.
Regular maintenance. Okay. Tires,
so how do we know what regular maintenance is?
Well, you have
a service manual.
Service manual. Have a checklist.
It tells you. It's got a checklist. It tells you when you should do things and at how many kilometres you should change certain items or replace things or look at them or make sure that they're running okay. Then there's tyres.
Tyres, brakes, check your tyre pressures on a regular basis before a long ride, of course, and intermittently every week, I guess. Yeah, your brakes, make sure that they get all checked so you've got some stopping power. I guess none of us really want to stop, but if we have to, we kind of need them.
And then what about your battery? I always put mine on a tender.
Mine on a tender if I'm not riding it, but I tend to ride mine pretty frequently, so I'm not afraid of a little bit of wet weather.
Yeah.
Looking at you.
Yeah, I'm wet. But we've come from opposite directions. It's raining at my house. I'm soaked. Steve's come from the opposite side of the city. He's dry, and it's dry here. So what I do personally to maintain weight and to stay slim, and this is the overall way that I stay healthy, and that is with a ketogenic diet. Now, a ketogenic diet basically means that I'm keeping my carbohydrates very, very low. I'm eating an amount of protein that is suitable for my particular body mass, and I'm making up the rest of the calories in fat, saturated fat. Now, a lot of people, and see how Steve is looking at me like,
when you say saturated
crazy.
fat, what are we talking about?
Basically fat from animal products.
Oh, okay.
The way I went about this, I did it very, very, very strictly for the first year. Strict means no more than 5% of my daily calories from carbohydrate. And the reason I'm using a percentage is it's different for everybody, you know. So the 5% mark usually means it's going to be 20 odd grams of carbohydrate per day or less, which is basically look at a packet of chips and you're over, okay? And the reason we want to restrict our carbohydrates is because when you're eating carbohydrates, in particular when you're eating them by themselves, what they're doing is they are making your body release a hormone called insulin, and that insulin takes the excess sugar that's now in your system, because carbohydrates are sugar, and pushes it into storage. That's the simple explanation.
I have a lot of storage. I could survive a zombie apocalypse for years.
Okay, well you've got a lot of excess weight, and that's the first thing I want you to concentrate on, keeping your carbohydrates low. So another healthy Harley habit is practicing slow speed maneuvers.
Slow speed maneuvers.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying slow speed maneuvers is because I watch a lot of people, as soon as the speed drops, they've got to put their feet down and they've got to waddle around.
Got to get them outriggers out.
Get the outriggers out, yeah. And they waddle around and they can't control their bike. And I think a lot of people drop their bike when they're going slow. A lot of these bikes, especially the touring bikes, are really heavy. The trick is you've got to be able to use your rear brake, your foot pedal, you know, which a lot of people
Which means
neglect.
that you need to leave it on the board, not on the ground.
And you need to use your clutch. So slow speed maneuvers, you've got to practice them, because there's a lot of occasions where you're riding slow, just doing a U-turn, for example. You know, a lot of people can't do a U-turn in a reasonable space. So the easiest place to learn that is a car park where there are no cars. The white lines will indicate to you how much room you need to do a U-turn if you're doing it slowly. So therefore you can judge it yourself, and can you get better over time. So do you know what carbohydrates are?
Some of, or anything that's sweet.
Rice. Yeah,
Rice.
anything that's sweet, yeah, including fruit.
Oh no, I like fruit.
Including fruit, yeah. But I'm not saying...
Yeah, you cut it out completely.
Like the way I do it is so first of all, if you cut out carbs, everything will then taste sweet. So if you want a sugar rush, all you've got to do is have a quarter of a banana, you'll love it. Or a mandarin, right? There's not many calories in it. There's not an enormous amount of sugar. But the crux of it is carbohydrates in fruit, in rice, in bread, in pasta, in all vegetables. Okay, it's just that vegetables have a lot of water in them, so there's not many calories. All right, but potato, a lot of carbohydrate.
Yep.
You want to stay healthy on your motorbike, you've got to learn how to take corners, and a lot of people I find just don't practice that. I don't know why, because cornering is
fun.
where you have all the fun, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And all you got to do is go on the group ride. As soon as you get to the twisties, people start dropping off rapidly. And I know everybody's got a different level of ability, but the same people seem to drop off every year. So all you got to do to practice cornering is go find somewhere with lots of bends and go around those bends nice and slow, and then figure out what's going on. You need to be on the outside of the corner until you can see the inside of the corner, and that's when you start to cut in. Usually, I mean, Harleys don't lean very much anyway. I think mine, or our street glides,
29 on the left, 31 on the front.
well, I think mine are a bit better than that. So the newer street glides are a bit better.
Yeah, mine's a 14, so.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, but the point is, it's not more than, 32, 34 degrees anyway. So your tyres, even if you've got standard Harley, they're not Harley, standard Dunlops that Harleys come with, you're still going to be fine at that degree.
Of course.
So as long as there's no sand or oil or gravel or what other hazards are going to be on the road? Potholes.
Potholes. We're Victorian roads at the moment.
Yeah, you can pretty much take that corner as hard as you like. And I'm not suggesting you go any harder. I'm saying take it easy, but practice. Have fun, practice, and see where you can improve. One of the things I used to do when I wanted to improve my cornering was to ride behind someone who is faster, because when you see them take the corner, you think to yourself, oh, it's okay. So therefore you can push yourself a little bit harder. Don't push yourself too hard, obviously, it's dangerous, but everybody can push themselves. Anything that's a bread product, I would cut out, so no bread. And the reason I'm bringing up bread first, and it's the main thing I cut out, is I started with what I would have thought were arthritic type injuries from kicking and punching heavy people and things. So a lot of the joints, like my...
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Steve's done a lot of bouncing. So a lot of the joints, like for example my big toe joints and knuckles in my hand, stopped working so well, and I just would have put that down to, like a lot of people do, oh, I'm getting older, I'm getting arthritis, and things don't work as well as they should. Literally 2 days after I gave up bread, all of my joints started working properly again.
So you're suggesting that carbs from wheat products adds to inflammation of joints? Is that
100%, yeah. I can guarantee it, because I've been doing this keto type diet for over 5 years now, and I often experiment with reintroducing carbohydrates just to see what will happen. And without getting too complex, there are times when you do, well, it's preferable to have them, but without fail, my body becomes more inflamed than when I don't have them.
Okay.
Another healthy habit for your Harley is being comfortable and not getting fatigued, especially on the longer rides. How do we do that?
Comfy seat for starters.
Comfortable seat, that's a beautiful one, yep. In my case, you probably have the same problem. I always have to get a seat that pushes me back further.
I've got the tall boy seat on mine, because I've also got a bit of a wide load.
Yep. Cool. Okay. So seat. What else can we do to get comfortable?
Bars.
Yep. A lot of people do handlebars. Yep. Anything else?
And boards or highway pegs.
Yep. Highway pegs.
Especially for us, because we're both very tall. We sometimes want to stretch those legs out.
Yep. On this bike, I've got extended shifter and brake pedal. Yep. And I've left the floorboards where they are, because I did get extended floorboards on the last street glide, but it does change your lean angle slightly, and I wanted to keep it at its maximum. I've found that's plenty, so that's comfortable for me. The windshield actually adds a lot of comfort and reduces a lot of fatigue on the fat boy that I had before I started on street glides. If I was riding that hard, you're pretty much like a sail in the wind, and an hour or so of hard riding, and that's
the drag coefficient kind of wears you out. Gotcha.
That's the end of the day for me, Whereas now I can easily do that for 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, whatever. Yeah. So it does make a difference, the wind. Anything else? What about clothing?
Well, depending on the weather, you've either got in the summer, the heat will take it out of you. So if you're layered up you know, like you're going to the snow with, you know, 3 tons of leather jackets on.
Yep.
It's going to wear you out. You're going to sweat. You're going to dehydrate. In the winter, same thing. If you're really, really cold, it's going to wear you out. You're going to be burning a lot of energy trying to keep warm.
And when you're cold, it's an interesting point, because when you're cold, you get tense, and when you're tense,
you can't ride.
You can't ride, especially as soon as you get off the straight and you want to turn a corner.
Or better yet, when you pull up at the traffic light and forget to put your leg down because you can't move it.
Well, there you go.
Embarrassing. Not that I've done that. I have not done that, for the record.
Personally, I ride in a t-shirt in summer and a vest. A lot of people will criticise that and call us squids, but I've been dehydrated and I've had heat stroke before.
It's not fun.
It's not fun at all,
No.
you know. Your body at the moment is used to burning sugar as fuel. It's very easy to get excess sugar. When you're not eating fat, as we were taught in the 80s, you never get full. If you're living on sugar and carbohydrates, you're always hungry. If you switch that around, and it's not easy at the start, if you switch that around so that you're burning fat as energy, you'll have even energy throughout the day. You'll have an enormous amount of energy all the time. You won't have those blood sugar fluctuations, and you won't be storing body fat. So you might think, well, what do I do for a meal? Well, this is what I would do. If it was lunchtime now, it probably is. Yeah, it's lunchtime now. I would probably have, say, 2 or 3 hamburger patties and, say, 5 fried eggs fried in butter on top of them. And I would probably put a bit of cheese on top of that. If I was going to add a vegetable to that, I would add homemade sauerkraut, which we make at home. That's got a lot of probiotics in it, naturally fermented. That's the sort of thing I would have for lunch, and I've never felt better. I gave up broccoli, spinach, and cauliflower, and it takes you to another level. People say, oh, but you need fibre. Not if you're not eating junk food and you're just eating meat and getting plenty of water and magnesium. I've found that my internals are 100 times better without fibre. The 5th healthy habit for your Harley is safety. What do we do to stay safe? What do you do?
Well, while I'm riding, I've got like a 360-degree radar going, so very situational aware, making sure I know where all the cars are around me, keeping in mind people's braking. And I'm not looking directly ahead, I'm looking
everywhere,
further ahead. The guys, people next to me, the cars next to me.
What else do we do? Blind spots?
Blind spots.
Don't sit in cars.
Don't sit in cars, and make sure you do your head checks as well.
Don't sit in the blind spot of cars, I should say, yeah.
Or trucks, because they'd be harder to see for a truck as well.
Yep. Try and find eye contact with drivers.
Yes.
Yep.
It's definitely making that eye contact, especially if they're turning.
Yep. What else? Speed appropriate for the situation.
Always appropriate speed, and never speed because it's unsafe. Only on private roads. With a 120R. only on private roads.
Yeah, okay. Only speed on private roads. I mean, situational speed. So in certain circumstances, you want to.
To the conditions.
Exactly. Yeah. And what about maintenance for safety?
Your tyre condition, wear and tear, your brakes, wear and tear, making sure that even things like the boots, the rubber sole on your boots so they don't slip, because...
Yeah, very good point. Yeah. What about helmets though? People are going to go, oh, safety helmets, look at you blokes, you open face helmets. And
well, you know what, once again, we're adults, we risk assessment. Make your own decision.
It's a great feeling in an open face helmet compared to a full face.
My helmet has a detachable
chin guard.
I'm not a fan of open face myself.
The reason people fail with a ketogenic diet is because they cut their carbs, but they don't add fat. So if you need, say, 2,000 calories a day to keep yourself going and you cut out your carbs, well, what else is going to go in there? Your protein is fixed. It's based on how much you weigh or your lean body weight. Your carbohydrates are fixed because that's 5% of your calories. That leaves fat, and people are too scared to eat fat.
Danger is my business.
So their calories drop dramatically, and the diet or the new way of eating is unsustainable because they're going to be starving in a matter of minutes. Now, most people who go on this type of diet, the first 1, 2, 3 weeks are the most difficult because your body will have sugar cravings. The way I got around this is I went and bought an artificially sweetened drink that has a natural sweetener, and I'm not recommending it and saying it's good, but this is the way I did it. I literally bought crates of the stuff and put it into the kitchen. Every time I had a craving, I would scull some of this sweetened no sugar drink, and that would satisfy me for 10 minutes. And then when my craving came back, I'd have more. It literally took me 3 weeks to get over it, and all cravings have gone. It's probably going to be easier for you because you've got to remember I eat a lot. Yeah. Right? So you might have the same dramas as me. It's not about are you doing a good job or a bad job. It's about getting better based on your own personal circumstances, and that's where a lot of people fail. They go, oh, I'm no good at this, or I can't. Like, if you're on a particular diet or eating plan and then you stuff up and you have 18 pizzas the next day, well, the day after, you just start again and resume. It doesn't really matter. The point is, are you improving on yourself? Not compared to me, not compared to anyone else. Are you improving based on what you've been doing last week and last year? So if you're, if you have a hamburger every day, have a hamburger without the bread. Well, if that's impossible to do, just have one half of the bun. Have the one at the bottom or the one at the top and chuck out the other one. And that is an improvement. If you're struggling to exercise, walk to your letterbox, literally. That is movement.
Absolutely.
Just do better than yesterday. And if you stuff it up and you regress, even if you have a week off, it doesn't matter. Like I've been doing this for so long, and I've had so many mistakes and periods where I just think stuff it. In fact, that is a more advanced strategy where you actually deliberately have a pig out. But again, that's for another time. So it doesn't matter. It's just improvement based on what was happening yesterday or last week. Yeah. All right, so Steve's got a few pointers now that he's going to run with. We are going to come back in a few months.
Yep.
And we're going to see how he goes.
It's up to you guys to make me accountable for this too, eh?
Let's target 1/2 kilo a week. Mm-hmm. So if it's a long-term thing, you're probably...
A bit hard to measure that because the scale does say 1 at a time, please.
Go on belt size, that's better than weight.
Belt
usually,
size, yeah.
If you're carrying a lot of excess weight, usually at the start it's easiest, so you probably lose a lot of weight quickly, but don't stress if you're not, because 1/2 kilo a week is fine. If you like today's video, you're going to like this video. It's going to stop you from dying. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, check out the website, get yourself some great supporter gear, a t-shirt, a sticker, a patch. Stay fit and healthy. I'll see you on the next video.